Tuesday, everyone. If you are here for the free hypnosis session with Rochelle Cook and Joymind Hypnotherapy, you are in the right place. Welcome in. We're going to get started in a couple minutes as soon as everyone makes their way into the room. Welcome, Valerie. Yes, that's exactly what we want. Type in the chat if you want to just drop a little check-in, letting yourself land into this space, almost like an entrance. You are arriving into the next 30 minutes of relaxation, of calm, of quiet, and really maybe a lot more than that. So before we get into anything, I would love if you can type into the chat, why are you here today? So you were scrolling, you might have been going through something. Maybe it was late night, maybe it was in the middle of a fight or a frustrating afternoon. You found us and you signed up. And if you are here right now, there's a reason, there's something you're looking for. And we would love to know exactly what that is. No secrets. So tell us, what are you hoping to walk away with today? And we're going to read every single one of these messages. So we have Nick here in the chat, and he's going to be gathering any questions that we have that we'll save for after the hypnosis. We're going to do a Q&A portion then. But also everything that we see here, Rochelle is going to help integrate that into the hypnosis. So we're putting the energy, we're putting the desire and the intention into the field, into our collective space. And that's everything that we're going to work on. This is great. I love quitting smoking. Jeffrey, just peace. Norman, perfect. It's such a complete word.
Break up with love bombing.
Oh, that's a Rochelle one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, a couple breakups. Yeah, it's really good to share this out loud because you'll find there's probably multiple people that are struggling with the same thing that you are struggling with. So if you see somebody on here and you feel that you are also going through that, just maybe send a response like, hey, Ashley, yeah, I too am also struggling with finding peace and happiness after a divorce. Like, I feel you, I'm with you. There's a lot of power in doing that. So thank you.
Get full night's sleep.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today. Yeah, like how to, making sure that getting a full night's sleep is actually happening. So we're going to walk away with all of that today. Before we get into it, I want to just start off with something that you have already been hypnotized today. That's just a fact. If you found yourself scrolling on social media, if you find yourself getting lost in music and you can get transported to another place in time, you're watching a movie and you know the characters aren't real, but you're sucked in and feel your heart rate racing when they're running or sad when they're sad. You're driving home after work and you completely miss your exit. You know how to get home, but your brain was just completely out of it because you were thinking of something else. You had this split mind. That is a hypnotic state. And we're going to get into how this all works because you are accidentally being hypnotized. Now we're going to take that power back and use it for exactly what you want in this life.
Well, I have a good one to add to that. When you're sitting in front of the fireplace and you're just looking at it and watching the flames dance back and forth, and you're just like, ooh, that's a really good one.
Oh, that is
really good fireplaces.
True hypnotic feeling. Yeah. Or even a candle. If you light a candle and you just can't help but be sucked in by the flame. Perfect. So we're going to talk about all of this. We're going to explain a little bit of what is hypnosis, what is it not. So if there's any little bit of fear, I don't know how many of you have ever experienced hypnosis before, but we're going to tell you a little bit about what it feels like. Then Rochelle, our founder here, is going to guide us into a little bit of hypnosis today. That means you're actually going to walk out of this session with an exhale, with a bit more clarity, a bit more peace, and you're going to get the recording. That is the best part. So after this session, the recording will be emailed out to you. Highly recommend you listen to that again. It's going to make a difference. And then the Q&A will be right after that. So right after the hypnosis, you're going to get a handout that's going to help you self-identify where your limiting beliefs are. What is that secret stressor that has got you stuck? So we'll hand that out right after the hypnosis session. But we have Rochelle Cook here, one of our founders of Joymind. She has been practicing hypnotherapy for over 15 years, and her work was primarily in person in the Los Angeles area, where she was featured as one of the speakers on Oprah Super Soul Sunday. Among many other networks, Rochelle has had an incredible in-person practice before starting Joymind. So we're really happy to have her here. She's an excellent expert, true expert on relationships and trauma. And really everything else is going to come back into that. So you're going to learn a lot about how everything really ties back to your inner child self. So I'll have Rochelle share a little bit more about her and how we got to Joymind. How did we get here?
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you. And thank you for coming. Joymind became Joymind because there are three of us founders. And then, of course, we have Halai, who runs all of us. Thank goodness. And we started Joymind because I started this practice a long time ago. And I always wanted to help more people, but there's only one person, so it's a bit difficult. And one of the founders, who has become our CEO, he said, well, let's take this out to the masses because we know it works. And, a lot of times hypnotherapy can be the first step you take, not the last. And that's what we did. We took Joymind out to the masses, and we have many, many, many people working with us. And I'm proud to say we are the largest platform in the country, and we're the number one platform in the country. And again, we're the largest. So it's a big deal to say that because we worked really, really hard. And we really did it out of, like a higher realm of consciousness. Anyone that works with this company does it because they really care and they really want to help somebody. So, it's not just a company out there. We really, really care. And I believe that consciousness in itself is what made this company who we are today. So people like you that come on to these webinars, I'm saying thank you because I'm grateful that we get to explain to you how it really works, because peace is priceless and everyone deserves to be happy, or at least know how to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Rochelle said, Joymind is the leading hypnotherapy platform. So this is the hub of the top vetted specialists, certified specialists in the US. So up till now, we've delivered 40,000 plus personalized sessions. And what's really incredible is that 95% of clients who complete their program report noticeable changes, noticeable real improvement. And so that's so much more than just saying, okay, I think I feel better. It's that the people around them, their friends, their coworkers, their spouse, just feels that they are different. And so life just looks totally different when the people around you have this feeling that you are stronger, you are more confident, you are more secure and self-assured. So this is a lot of what people report. And if you see, there's over 1,000 reviews across Google, Trustpilot, BBB, with clients reporting their actual changes. So something we're very proud of, because what we see a lot of times is that almost everybody comes in. If you're here today, there's probably a part of you that's like, is this real? Does this actually work? Most of the reviews that you'll read say the same thing, that I was very skeptical, but it works. I feel different. And I can't explain it, but I do. So this is a really good foundation that we've built, and we're really excited for more people to get a hold of this work. So I'll share a little bit about just some reviews that you can get to know a little bit about yourself. So if maybe you're confused, does this help with smoking? Does it help with breakup? Does it help with chronic pain? You're going to see real life examples of what other people have used hypnotherapy for. And these are all reviews that are posted truly within the last hour today. But in general, we cover quite a lot. So Rochelle, if you want to kind of break down just the spectrum of what it is that you can use hypnotherapy for, because a lot of what we see here in the chat is completely doable.
So we pretty much deal with anything that disturbs your peace. Okay. Stress, anxiety, panic attacks, public speaking, which is the number one fear. That can be a big problem. Even on Zoom, people are afraid to speak sometimes. Relationships. Why do I keep attracting the wrong relationships? Or there's a breakup. A lot of narcissism in here. Anything to do with relationships. Why can't I get a relationship? Why do I think I'm not good enough for one? What are the different types of relationships that you can read about? Anxious attachment, etc. We help you with that. Weight, why do you keep yo-yo dieting? That's because you haven't been hypnotized. We'll get into that. We can help you with weight. Not We help you with weight to the point where you change the way you think. So I'm thinking just right off the top of my head that a client I'm working with, she can't even eat cranberries, dried cranberries. Sh But this is like a thing that lasts. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be good for a few weeks and then I'm going to want to eat it again, right? Smoking and vaping, hypnotherapy is known to stop smoking and vaping. And trust me, you don't want to be doing that. Not a good idea. Trauma, loss, we adults become what we learned as children. And that stuff sticks in the subconscious mind. And then what you've learned plays out into your life. Fear and phobia, also excellent. Afraid to drive, cross a bridge, or afraid of a bug, whatever it is. It's all in the subconscious. Not a problem. Mindset, that's really good because, it can lead to procrastination, performance issues, even people working in sales or, you know, we work with a lot of CEOs, they want to better themselves.
Mhm.
Huge, huge, all subconscious work. Anything that is disturbing your peace, whatever it is, you can call us. It doesn't cost any money to call us and ask whomever it is that answers the phone if we can help you, because you'd be surprised what we could do. So
Yeah.
don't make some pre-qualifying decision. We're the ones that do that because we're the ones that know, just so you know.
Right. And so if you're looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, I think I have all these problems, and you're feeling like, oh, how can they ever get this sorted? How am I ever going to be fixed? A lot of people that come to us have this fear that they're too much, their problems are too big, that they're just that one person that is broken. And I can promise you that you're not. So a little bit about how the program works. That means that you don't just sign up for just a smoking program or just a relationship program. Well, smoking you can do alone. Excuse me for that one.
Yeah.
But just about everything else kind of works together. Which, if you're wanting relationship work, you're going to get anxiety help. You're going to get your sleep improved. You're going to see changes in your health and your habits. Your desire to be outside or to exercise will improve because your self-worth is going to go up. So the way that every program works is very personalized. You're going to get matched with a hypnotherapist that is the right fit for you, somebody that gets you, that you feel 100% safe with. And then from there, they're going to create a structured program. So they're going to figure out how many sessions you actually need and to get you to the finish line. We want you to finish. That is the most important objective with hypnotherapy, is that there's actually a progression. Your first month with us is really going to be about letting go of the burden of the past, like really unloading this heaviness, this negative thinking, this fear, this shame that you've been carrying. Then your second month, that's when you really start to say, who am I? What do I want? What do I not want? So you're clearing things out. You're saying yes to more of who you are, really honoring your authentic self. And then the third month, around the 8 to 12 week mark, that is exactly when you start to see the external world change.
Mhm.
That's when people say, I don't know what it is, but you feel different. Opportunities start to come to you. Relationships feel deeper, more connected because you are being a better version of yourself. So that's a little bit of how the journey goes. Basically, you're going to meet with your hypnotherapist every week. You're going to get a recording every week, which we highly recommend you listen to. It's not required, but if you want to expedite your process, highly recommend you listen to that a couple of times a week at least. It'll just make everything flow better.
And I want to say that when our first session, we are going to talk to you about what's going on, because what we're doing is we're looking for patterns. This is not talk therapy. We are looking for patterns so that we can hypnotize you, because we are hypnotherapists. So we can hypnotize you to create new patterns so you can change your life. And that is done at the subconscious level, which we're explaining. So no, we're not therapists, talk therapy, and diagnosing you. We don't do all that. We want to hear what's going on. We want to look for what is the root issue, what are those patterns, and then that's what we work on when we hypnotize you, to change the perception of your subconscious mind. That's what we do.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're not going to just walk into the session and be like, you're hypnotized. No, they're going to talk to you like a normal human. They're going to figure out what's at your core, and then they're going to hypnotize you because that's how it's personalized. So I'm going to leave the booking link here. So if you already are like, you know what, I know that I want this, I know that I need this, I'm here to learn and receive, but I really want to book a consultation, I want to get some answers, I highly recommend you do it. You are here for a reason. There's something that made you sign up. You did a really good step by being here right now. There's actually hundreds of people that sign up. We have a limited capacity, but those who are showing up live, you are just at a different standard. So just keep that in mind. Continue this momentum. Take one more step forward for yourself. It's completely free. And you're going to talk to a program expert. These are people who have done the program themselves. They're not just strangers to hypnotherapy. They're people who are clients who get what you are going through and who don't feel overwhelmed by what you're about to say. So keep that in mind. Nothing you say is going to feel too much for the person that's waiting for you on the other end of the phone. So I'll leave that there, and we'll continue to learn a little bit more about what is a subconscious mind. This is kind of like the hypnotherapy 101. So we'll give you the basic version because it's really all you need to know.
So 12% is your conscious mind, willpower, rationale, logic, the part of you that says, I'm going to go on a diet and I don't want to eat sugar anymore, right? And then this is why we call it yo-yo dieting. Or I'm not going to attract people that are unkind to me. Or I'm going to just go drive because I know that I'm safe. It's okay, right? Or I'm going to go join the gym. That's my New Year's resolution. And that's how they make all their money, because all these people join and they don't go, and they know it. That's why they put a lot of money into marketing during that time. The subconscious mind makes up 88% of your life. It rules your life. We adults become what we learned as children. So that's where your old habits, your emotional patterns, your limiting beliefs, your automatic responses are. So that is why you can use a knife and a fork. Some people can drive, you can walk, you can run, we all understand this language, right? It's like when you leave your house, you know how to get home, but you don't have to think about it, right? You don't have to think about it. You just know where to go. That subconscious is ruling your life. Never forget that. So until you change the perception at the subconscious level, until you teach the subconscious the good things that are real and not the what ifs and the fear, right? You're going to keep playing this out in your life. So we happen to have specific skills, which we'll talk about to some degree, that can help that subconscious mind change their mind. So what we're doing literally is we're creating new neural pathways. The other ones are there. We're creating new ones so that you think differently. We're not going to talk to you for the next million years about all your problems. We don't do that. We go in right away. We get to the point and we create new neural pathways, which creates new patterns. And I'm just going to lightly talk. I know that it can be done because I had to learn to walk again. I had brain surgery, long story. So I had to teach my brain that my feet were on the ground because I had to create the new neural pathway. It was very, very interesting. I had to teach it all kinds of things. So I really understand personally what that means. And I'm really grateful that I know absolutely that it can be done. Because I really dived into a lot of this stuff because I wanted to understand what I could do for myself. And I had already been practicing. But I mean, this is a different level. So I really did a deep dive, more so than I did before, which was pretty deep. And I know you can do it. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah. I do appreciate one thing about Rochelle. Yes, she's a founder. Yes, she's a practitioner, but she is also a client. She does hypnotherapy herself. And I think that's something that's very unique about Joymind, is that anybody who's here believes in this work, has used it to help them get to the next level. And so when you're talking to anybody here, we're just people that are bought in, that believe in this work and have seen the results ourselves, not just a teacher or some guru. That's just not, that it's a very dissociated way of doing this work. So I really do appreciate that as our leader, somebody who does the work herself. So if all of this is quite new to you, if you are the first person in your family, in your friends, and anybody that you know that is even thinking about trying hypnotherapy, that's okay. But it is absolutely not new at all. So it is becoming more and more known, the power of the subconscious mind, through tons of work with Joe Dispenza, as you can see online.
Mhm.
People understand the power of the subconscious mind. So it's been studied for over 180 years. There are tons of published scientific journals specifically on hypnotherapy and how you can use it. So
Albert Einstein, you said?
exactly, he used it to help expand his creativity, to stop thinking a certain way and open up his mind to deeper answers, deeper wisdom. And we can all use that. So
I can tell you
definitely not.
Olympians use it because I've worked with them, which I'm never going to tell you who those people are, but they use it. So do actors that you see all over television.
Mm,
They use it. They use it.
yeah. So even if you haven't officially done hypnotherapy, you have been in a hypnotic state. Like I said, it's already happened today. And there are 2 points in your day that have the same brain effect that hypnosis does.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
first thing in the morning, when you're just barely waking up, you're hitting snooze, you're like halfway in dreamland, halfway in the real world. That is a hypnotic state. And that feeling, it kind of feels so sweet. You actually want to go back to bed. You don't want to go to the real world yet. That is exactly what people feel when they're in hypnosis, that they want to stretch out that feeling. And so you can stretch it out for 20 to 30 minutes, which is incredible. And that's what you use. You create that feeling in your sessions. And it happens again right before bed. So when you get your recording tonight, I highly recommend you listen to it as you're going to bed. This is pretty late for some of you, maybe. So maybe this is close to bed, but if you can listen to it overnight, before bed, and again first thing in the morning, those when your brain is super, super suggestible. So we can work with our minds. All right. So before we get into the hypnosis, we always have to go through this kind of disclaimer, because a lot of people, even if you are sitting there thinking, I don't want to ask this question out loud, a lot of people have these misconceptions. So we'll just kind of run through what the actual feeling is and what is not actually true.
And this was the thing that we really work on for Joymind because we know what I'm going to talk to you about right here, which unfortunately aids people in making not a good decision not to go into hypnotherapy. So we are not a stage show. Is it true? I get this all the time. Most of the time it's not. A little bit can be true, but not what you think. It's not what you think. And I know I've studied it ad nauseum, only because I want to know how to get someone into the deepest state, right? But it's not what you think. So no, most of it isn't true. Nobody's going to make you take off all your clothes and do all these things unless you want to, right? And sometimes you just want to perform. It's not what you see on television, how a psychiatrist, I don't remember the name of the movie, but a psychiatrist has his patient go out and commit these horrific crimes. It is not true. And the reason it's not true is because hypnotherapy is just a heightened state of awareness. That's all it is. And I can't make you, well, firstly, I wouldn't, but I can't make you do something you know you would never do in a million years. You just know that you're not going to do it. It's like if someone told me to jump off the Eiffel Tower, they're trying to hypnotize, I'd look at you like, what are you smoking? Like, why would you do this? And if they were telling me to commit a crime, I would go tell the police because I know we have a problem out there, right? Not that anyone's going to do it, but that's not ethical. You don't do that. So it's not true. It's not true. So please don't be afraid. Or the movie where she stirs the teacup. It's a movie. They want to use something to get your attention and make more money. And that's what they do. And it's entertaining, isn't it? Perhaps you were hypnotized when you were watching it.
Mm.
So the myth is it's mind control. Absolutely not true. And I just explained all that. It is not mind control. We cannot tell you what to do unless you want us to. If you come in here and say, I'm not going to smoke, I don't want to not smoke, that's just the way it is, we're going to tell you, come to us when you are ready. You may not know how to get there,
Yeah.
but we'll show you. But we can't make you do something you don't want to do.
That's a big one, Rochelle. Smoking.
Is it?
Sometimes, somebody's husband or wife really wants them to quit,
Ah,
and they don't want to
yeah.
quit, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
That's a
They
good
do
one.
the sessions, and they walk out saying, "Well, because you don't want to. Somebody wants to
Mm,
make you do that." And so just keep in mind, you will never do anything you don't want to do. All it's going to do is sync up your real desire. So if you truly want to do it, this will be the moment that
will
you
help you.
finally do.
And you don't have to know how, just know you want to.
Yeah.
You can get stuck in it. Now you're watching the movies again. It's not true. It is absolutely not true. All you do is open your eyes. You're not in this, that's what we hear. Well, I wasn't in a trance because they expect to be where the movie tells them they're supposed to be. All it is a heightened state of awareness. All you're going to do is close your eyes and breathe. You'll get a little snapshot of it today. That's it. And if you're like me, you're going to be thinking, I wonder why they said that. Or did I shut the door? Or did I blow the candle out? Did I feed my dog? Whatever it is. And then you'll be relaxed again. Then you might think, oh, I can't forget about my meeting. Then you'll be relaxed again. You may not. You may be relaxed the whole time. You're still being hypnotized and you will still notice it. That I can tell you. So it's just a heightened state of awareness. Open your eyes. You're not going to get stuck. You may fall asleep. That's possible. But the subconscious, it never sleeps. And hey, if you fall
Mhm.
asleep and we can't wake you up, usually we can. We have our ways. It's fine. Just sleep, right? You're not stuck.
Mhm.
Only weak minded people can be hypnotized. I do not have a weak mind. Halai does not have a weak mind. We actually have incredibly strong minds, which sometimes we have to chill out and know that, let's be calm. We do not have a weak minded at all. This is all I do for a living. You should hear my thoughts every day, course correcting. And we can be hypnotized. And I've worked with some of the strongest minds out there, including neurosurgeons. And you want to talk about a strong mind. You know why? You know why? Because they know about the neural pathways. They know it. So not true. You completely forget what happened. I wouldn't say that. You might be relaxed and drift off into the beautiful pattern of the voice. You don't completely forget, but I will say you may listen to it again and go, oh, I didn't hear that. It's not that you didn't hear it, you just don't remember it, but you didn't completely forget it. You just didn't remember that because you were so relaxed, you weren't paying attention. If you really wanted to sit there and think about what was said, you would remember it. Okay, so that's not true. And I want to comment here. I want to quit smoking immediately. Your wishes are a command. So I love
I
seeing
love
that.
that.
I don't like
I love the
smoking. Yeah, we don't.
desire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't like that. We're fine.
Yeah. So, whether you want to quit smoking, heal trauma, heal past relationships, overcome a fear, there's a specialist, one, who works in those specific areas, but also that you're going to feel comfortable with. So, we can't just match you with anybody and expect you to be hypnotized. This is another really important factor. And especially for those people, I see that there's maybe about 25% of people who actually have experienced hypnotherapy. I'm so curious if any of those people want to type in the chat what their experience was, what you felt. Some people really feel it, and some people don't. So many people have tried hypnosis, felt like nothing happened, or they weren't hypnotized, or didn't work for them. And there's a reason behind that. So certification is extremely important. That's why we have a whole slide dedicated to this. If you walk out of today's session with one thing, it is important to know that not anybody can do hypnosis. Not anybody who calls themselves a hypnotist or hypnotherapist is legitimate. This is a very unregulated world, meaning that we have to do our part to actually regulate. So anybody can say that they're doing this. But we only work with hypnotherapists who have completed the oldest and largest college of hypnotherapy program. This was
Accredited.
established in 1968. It's fully accredited. And you have to complete up to 2 years with 720 hours of live training and mentorship. So it's really
And
not something that anyone can do.
certifications. Everyone does certifications, which is more.
Exactly. So that's where you get specialties. That's where you actually are a smoking specialist. You actually are a trauma specialist. You can't call yourself these things unless you get those specificities completed. And obviously, Dr. Kappas, who was the founder of the Kappas method, the Kappasian method of hypnotherapy, is obviously the founder of this program, and who Rochelle was able to study under as well.
And he's wonderful. And I want to say the one thing that he's really known for, which is why he did put hypnotherapy on the map, is how does your mind take in information? So when people say to us, why I didn't get hypnotized? We know right away it's because the person that was hypnotizing you maybe went to school for 2 days or 2 weeks. I don't know. But it's because they just start, everyone's the same. You all get the same packaging. Of course, it's not going to work. If you're a extrovert, if you're introvert, if you're somebody who is like really hyperly sensitive, everybody takes in information differently. So we have been taught, because I went to that school a long time ago, but I'm aging myself, but I'm grateful I went. But you want to know something? When we talk to you, our radar is up so we can use certain words and watch different patterns and just do things that we know how to do. So we can figure out, how does Halai over here take in information? What words has she used that tell us more about her personality? It's a study. Let me tell you, it's a study. And that's why the people that come to us, you are hypnotized. And let me tell you something. Some people might need one session because they're scared. That's fine. The next session or third most likely won't take that long, but you'll be fine but that's your personality type, right? So we have things we can do to get around that. Trust me. So don't be afraid.
And this is actually why, if you've done just like a YouTube version of hypnosis, it's not the same, because every word does not register in every single person's brain. So today's session is going to be more generalized. Keep that in mind. It's going to be an opportunity for you to relax and receive. But the real transformation, the real change you're going to see is when you go to your session, when you get personally matched with the hypnotherapist and they understand what's going on in your world. So we're going to start with a little bit of a taster. If you can, please go ahead and relax, recline back. If you have a nice comfy chair, I have like a very special comfy chair I always do my sessions in. If you're in your bed, a lot of people do it in bed, but just try to sit yourself up. So we're not going to sleep. We are in this intentional relaxation. Obviously, you're not driving. And if you have headphones and you want to pop them in right now, that'll definitely give you a more immersive experience. You can tune out the rest of the world.
Lifting heavy machinery or jackhammers.
Yes, I'm glad we had that note for anybody who's operating heavy machinery right now. But I really want to highlight, more than anything, give yourself permission to relax. I can assure you that 99% of people who are here today, whatever you're going through, a lot of it has to do with maybe you don't feel worthy of taking a breath, that you are the last person that needs help, or that your kids or your spouse or your work needs you first. So for today, do something really good for yourself and let yourself relax and receive.
Okay. All this is going to be is relaxation. It's not going to be really long, right? So that's right. We're just going to do some fun stuff. That's what I call it. All right, everybody, close your eyes and take in a deep letting go breath. And starting now. Maybe take another deep letting go breath in. I'm going to count from 1 to 10 and 10 back down to 1. And on each and every count, you're going to feel more calm and relaxed and calm. Letting go and releasing. Releasing and letting go. Starting from 1, you can feel the room around you. 2, the surface beneath you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 going back, down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Letting go and releasing. Releasing and letting go, sinking deeply, calmly and soundly into the surface beneath you. Just letting go. Now, what I'd like you to do is visualize, picture, or pretend, or, you can just listen to my voice and not try too hard. Visualize, picture, pretend there's a beautiful light hovering over your head. There's nothing to see, there's nothing to do, just relax. You can feel the warmth of the glow, there's a light, perhaps the sun. That is where your higher self lives, the part of you that knows what you know, what you know. You are worthy and deserving and you belong, and there is no reason why you have to suffer. It's okay to find some happiness and peace. It truly is. So allow the light to hover over your forehead and over your eyes. While your eyes are closed, look down. Allow it to hover over your face. Your jaw relaxes, your teeth separate. The more your jaw relaxes, the more your teeth separate. The more your teeth separate, the more your jaw relaxes. Allow it to hover over your mouth. And this is where, when you choose to remain silent, you remain silent, that's when the chatter stops. And when the chatter stops, that's when you can hear the higher self, the one who truly knows what's good for you. Not the injured self, the challenged self, the true self, the authentic self. Allow the light to travel down through your throat and over your shoulders. And this is where we carry the weight of the world. All of the what ifs, the fear, the love bombing, the smoking, the weight loss, the limiting beliefs, the anxiety, all these things, whatever it is, anything that's disturbing your peace, that's where you carry this. And it kind of gets heavy. It's like a backpack. Go ahead and let that go, please, into the chair and onto the floor. Releasing and letting go and releasing. Into the chair and onto the floor, releasing and letting go and releasing. Into the chair and onto the floor, releasing and letting go and releasing. Let it go, the fear and the what ifs. You don't need those anymore because they're not true. That's why. Allow that beautiful light to travel down through your arms and your hands and your fingertips. Maybe noticing that one end and arm is heavier than the other. So very, very, very heavy. You don't even want to lift it up. You don't need to. You don't need to. So go ahead and let that go. But feel how heavy your hands and arms now. Oh, they're so heavy. If you want, you can put your palms up and you might be able to feel that light in your hand, that warmth and that glow. And I'm wondering, is your hand heavier or lighter? Some people can feel the light and they actually lift their hands up because it's like they're lifting them towards the light. Higher and higher and higher and higher, pulling and tugging and tugging and pulling and pulling and tugging and tugging and pulling and pulling and tugging, higher and higher and higher. While some other people's hands are so very, very, very heavy. Why bother picking them up? And if your hand is lifted, you can put it down now. In fact, if you'd like, you could put both hands over your heart, taking in another deep, letting go breath and say, I'm home. I'm home. Allow the light to travel throughout your back and over your heart, because this is where you know what you know what you know. I live in the light, which is why when I see the sun the next time, it's brighter than it was yesterday. It's brighter than it was today. I notice it. When I turn on my lamp or light a candle, I really notice the light. Wait, you're going to see this. Allow the light to travel down through your legs, your thighs, your knees, your shins, and allow it to puddle around your feet, lighting the path before you, and just walk down this glorious, beautiful path. See what you see, hear what you hear, notice what you notice. It's a nice feeling. Calm and relaxed and relaxed and calm. Just letting go. Now continue to walk, and as you walk, you see up ahead of you a fork in the road. And you're going to walk on the opposite side, the side of peace. Oh, help is on the way. And as you walk, you stand up tall, walking in the shoes of grace. Finally accepting some help in your life, letting your authentic self get your attention. And you're standing up tall, your shoulders are back, your head is facing that sun. Your shadows have fallen behind you and they become your fuel to thrive. They have been illuminated by the light. Now every time you hear my voice, you're going to feel more calm and relaxed and relaxed and calm. Letting go and releasing and letting go. Starting from 1, you can feel the room around you. 2, the surface beneath you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes wide awake.
Okay, welcome back. And so as you're transitioning, getting yourself back up, see if you can notice what's one word that feels really, really bright, or almost like this word that's like pulsing inside of you right now. Let's just write that in the chat. If there's a sense of calm or ease, even empty or full, what is that word that feels like what you're feeling in this moment? So just writing that in there. Peace. Yes, that's
I'm going to say grateful for John's comment.
grateful.
Thank you, John.
Calm, relaxed, loose. Let's all just start with just a nice exhale, like really letting all that peace, that ease, that lightness, let that continue to stay with you for the rest of the day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out that handout that I mentioned earlier. So these are these silent stressors that are deeply affecting your life. So like Rochelle said, we adults become, we learn as children. So you'll see if you can find your pattern, your childhood pattern in this cheat sheet that'll show how you are playing out this childhood trauma in your adult life. If it was your parent or bully or babysitter or teacher, somebody in your life that made you feel not enough in whatever capacity. It could have been one small moment, it could have been years and years of little moments. But that does affect your adult life. And so that is exactly what we undo in hypnotherapy. So I'm going to invite in one of our program experts, Lisa, to share a little bit more about what is hypnotherapy, what it really feels like, because she's the person that you are going to talk to when you book a consultation. Lisa is a client herself, and yes, she talks about this work, but she's been inside of it. So she's on both ends. She's heard it all. And yeah, I'd love her to share a little bit more about her story and what it would be like when you get a chance to talk with her, hopefully later today or even tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Halai. And, I've been with Joymind for over a year now, and just now going through the hypnosis with Rochelle again, it just validates I am flat out where I'm supposed to be. And so thank you, Rochelle.
Pleasure.
I'm a client too, so this is how I got my best and first taste with Joymind. And we all have our different stories of how we're where we are right now, why we're on this Zoom together. And your story may be bigger, you may think it's smaller, but it doesn't matter. It's all our story. And, we all have something that brought us to this moment. And my personal story, I had undiagnosed Lyme disease for over 20 years. And I went through hell, but I'm back. And if you haven't ever heard of Lyme disease, it mimics other diseases. And so I went through the disease dressing room for many, many years. And I got to a point where I lost everything because I was in chronic pain, sleep deprivation, multiple diseases from rheumatoid arthritis to fibromyalgia to Hashimoto's disease to gout to cluster headaches, which are suicide headaches because people shoot themselves. They're so bad. And but I'm still here because I don't believe in that. I'm too afraid. But I was finally diagnosed, but then I was left with a huge aftermath where I lost my business, my career. I lost my home. I lived in $1 million+ property. I lost my car. I lost my marriage. I lost everything. And then after I got through the Lyme disease, because I finally, thank God, got a diagnosis, but I was left with the aftermath of all that: extreme guilt, sleep deprivation, anxiety, depression. And for many years, I was physically unable to work. After I got the diagnosis and was ridded from it, I was able to start getting jobs, but I couldn't keep them. Joymind was one of those jobs. And it was just meant to be that I was introduced to hypnosis because it was what I needed. It was the missing link to help me go on. Again, I was sleep deprived. I had horrible anxiety, panic attacks, depression. And because of the hypnosis, I'm sitting here right in front of you tonight. Over a year later, I kept the job with Joymind, which that's huge. I kept the job. I succeeded at it. I have a house now. I have a boyfriend. Just celebrated my 59th birthday yesterday. I've got a car. And I am here able to share this with you and not in a much worse place because of hypnotherapy. And, it's been around for centuries and it's becoming more mainstream right now, but we all need to realize the power of the subconscious mind. Every single time I tell myself I'm not going to cry, but it's just very powerful. And sorry, it's very powerful for me. And I knew that there had to be a reason that I was going through all that. There had to be some reason why I had to go through all those sleepless nights and the sleep deprivation and all that. And now I get to every single day, all day long, I get to talk to people just like you and help them realize that the power of the subconscious mind is unbelievable, and that you don't have to be stuck right where you are. You can get out of the mess that you're in, whatever it is. And there's, I say I had Lyme disease and I had these issues and everything. And I'm sure that anybody on this call could beat me on what they're dealing with and everything. But
Suffering is suffering.
yeah,
Suffering
our
is suffering.
problems are our problems. And so with every ounce of my energy, I know that this can help you. And that's why I'm sitting here, and I just thank God every day for Joymind. So I just so look forward to talking to any of you who want an ear. What I do is listen to what you're going through, and then based on that, I match you with one of our clinical hypnotherapists. They are just the bomb. They go through such an extensive training and everything. They are just magical. And so I'll quit going on and on. I know you all have things and family and everything to get to, but I can't wait to talk to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa. And so I put her direct booking link. So if you click that button on your screen, you're going to go straight to Lisa's calendar. She's the person that you'll talk to, who gets what you're going through. And, I can assure you, like Lisa said, there's nothing that's too much. There's no story that is in some way almost not heard, because you've really heard thousands of heartbreaks and losses and pain.
Yeah.
And the reality is, as much as they're a little bit different, they're all actually also very much the same. And so that's exactly what she's going to help you navigate. What is your next step? How many sessions you actually need? And then the best part, the most fun part, is really who's the best match for you? Who's the person that's going to make you feel like, oh, this person just gets me. This person makes me feel like me. So I'll leave that there. And then you're also going to get, as soon as you click that button and you book your consultation, there's going to be a tag next to your name. It's going to say, attended today's webinar. So you're automatically going to get an extra 15% off of any program that you decide to purchase. So it's already there. There's nothing extra you have to do, but click the link and make that happen. So I know that there's still about 90% of people that have voted that you still have questions. If you are voting, you still have questions. I don't see anything in the chat that we can directly answer. And if maybe Rochelle, if there's a question that jumped out, but the consultation is where you're going to get those answers, where you're going to talk to somebody one-on-one. You've done a really good thing sticking it out. If you're still here, there's some deep part of you that knows, maybe not even that deep down, maybe it's becoming more and more realistic, that you deserve better, that life should be different. It should be easier. It should feel just more joyful. And this is really the right step. Rochelle, anything else that you wanted to add?
Not really. I see a lot of, I overthink everything. I think Anita, need peace, less panic attacks. Ooh, better friendships, losing mine. I found the one about love bombing. All of this happens because we're all really good. The subconscious mind loves the knowns, even if they're not good, right? We're going to teach it the unknowns, which are good. But like anxiety is right, because anxiety thinks she's just keeping you safe, right? That's all she's doing. So we have to teach her that no, you're actually keeping me not safe, because I don't want to live in a fantasy, right? John, you're afraid to, you're anxious when you're talking in front of people. My question is, where did you learn that you shouldn't be talking in front of people? So subconsciously, I would want to work with that, as I've got to teach Was it the inner child or the adult self? Well, it always comes from the inner child most of the time. I'd want to teach both of you that that isn't true. That isn't true. The love bombing, man, that's hard because it leads right into fantasy. I really want to be loved and someone's really being kind. Don't we all want to be loved because we're humans? Relationships rule us. Any kind relationships with your job, with someone you love, whatever it is. So that's a hard one to get over because you keep living in the fantasy, which was never true. But it doesn't matter. It's what we grow up hearing we're supposed to have in life. So, that makes it difficult, right? Peace of mind. The way you get peace of mind is when you stop the fear and the what ifs. What if the sky falls down? Oh man, I was thinking about that today, Halai, about the fear and the what ifs. It is what rules our life. It's insanity. And the truth is, none of it exists. We take the past, we project it into the future, and it becomes our here and now. So depending on what you learned in the past is going to tell you what you're going to project in the future, and belief edits experience. So if you take somebody that's really positive and changes their perception, we're one of those people, two of those people. I learned it. Let me tell you, you're going to have a really great life because you see positive and we get how we think, right? If you're someone who is negative and afraid, your outer reality's perception of your inner reality, what you're going to do is you're going to see it's a disaster out there because that's what you believe.
Mm.
So that's what we have to change. And when you believe that I want to be loved, and the fantasy is we're going to find our prince or princess and live happily for the rest of our lives. No one's perfect. No relationship is perfect. It doesn't mean it can't be really great and wonderful, and we don't have to dramatize certain things, right? But when someone's love bombing you, it's a whole different world to talk about. That's different. But the thing is that you just wanted to be loved and you bought into the storybook syndrome. Subconscious work. So there are many things that we can help you, even with anger management. Anger stems from hurt, right? What happened, right? What happened?
Yeah.
Sleeping, losing weight. Why aren't you sleeping? Are you just thinking and thinking and thinking? Oh, we tend to catastrophize before we go to sleep because it's quiet time, so our brains can go nuts.
Mm.
Oh, we have ways around that. So there's a lot of questions here that we could answer. Like Kristen, there's going to be a lot of tools that you will have. But here's what's so great about hypnotherapy. You don't have to do anything. We are the ones that do all the work. And sometimes, you can visualize if you want, but sometimes you just don't want to. So you're just going to close your eyes and you're going to listen to the rhythm of somebody's voice and their words because your subconscious mind is doing all the work. And then all of a sudden you realize things have changed because you realize it. It's very, very subtle. It's very subtle. Or someone you love says, boy, you've really changed.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lovely thing, because it's not hard. You don't have to rehash your trauma over and over and over again. We don't do that. And I personally don't agree with that. And I'll tell you why. Because when you do it, what you're doing, this was a recent study, by the way, is that you actually strengthen the neural pathway that you don't want. No, 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 no. We want to create the new neural pathway. So you can look at this water. I have to drink like 4 of these a day, believe it or not. I'm not going to say it's half empty or half full. I'm going to say, oh, well, it's about time I get some more water. And that's how you learn to think.
I love all this. And there's always something new to gain from these sessions because there's an infinite amount of learning and growing that we can do. So if you're here today, I hope that you feel that you got at least 1% better. You did 1% little bit more for yourself. Where focus goes, energy flows. Yes, John. So continue that rhythm. You showed up here, you received a little bit of hypnosis, you're asking the right questions, you believe that better is available. Your next step is to book that consult. There's no commitment, no pressure, but this is the path for you to find out, are you a good candidate for hypnotherapy? Will this work for you? Are we a good match for you? Can we get you those results? And then what is that going to take? What is that going to be for your budget? How is that going to be with your match, with your timeline? We're going to figure all of that out. So that link is there again to book directly with Lisa. She's incredible, really good at what she does, and you're completely safe when you work with
That's
her and
right.
talk with her. So thank you all for
And
being
John,
here. Thank you, Rochelle.
all children have a voice and they should all be heard. Period. I have a 29-year-old. That would have never happened in my house. Never going to happen. Not going to happen. So we got to teach the subconscious that.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. I couldn't help it. I had to comment on it.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Rochelle. Good to see you
Bye,
all.
everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.